The story begins with a woman named Gabriella. That morning she and her daughter named July were trying on the wedding dress that she would wear to her wedding. But when she was going to pay, it turned out that all her credit cards were blocked. She was confused and embarrassed because something like this had never happened before. She then met her eldest son named Stefano, and sure enough it was Stefano's doing, who thought his mother was too wasteful by buying unimportant items. And it turned out that Gabriella's attitude started a few months earlier. When her 60th birthday, she felt very lonely because her children were very busy with their own affairs. They did come but immediately left. Gabriella felt she was being ignored and needed someone who could accompany her. That night, she saw a car break down near her house. Because it was going to rain soon, Gabriella offered the car owner named Elia to take shelter at her house. Elia agreed to Gabriella's offer. When she got home, Gabriella also lent her child's clothes to Elia. Seeing Elia, who was very handsome and dashing, apparently made Gabriella secretly attracted to him. But the atmosphere changed when Gabriella saw Elia boldly enter her late husband's room and hold his belongings. Because of that, Gabriella also immediately asked Elia to leave immediately because the rain had stopped. After leaving there, Elia went to a bar. There she met a young man named Nico. And apparently he was Gabriella's youngest son. He also asked why Elia was wearing his clothes. Elia answered honestly how she could get the clothes. The next morning, Nico asked Gabriella about her favorite clothes. Gabriella had no choice but to look for Elia to get her child's clothes. Elia said her clothes were at her house, and asked Gabriella to come with her. But instead of going straight home, Elia took Gabriella to a beautiful place. But not long after Gabriella got news that Julia was hospitalized. Elia immediately took Gabriella to visit Julia. There Stefano looked displeased when he saw Elia with her mother. And soon Elia took Gabriella home. On the way they chatted about Gabriella's family. But when they arrived, Elia bravely kissed Gabriella. Gabriella initially slapped Elia, but because she was also interested in Elia, she finally just blushed with Elia's behavior. But because she realized she was no longer young, Gabriella decided to keep her distance from Elia. But Elia didn't give up so easily. She kept coming to see Gabriella, until finally Gabriella gave in and met Elia. And at that moment, Elia immediately invited Gabriella to swim and make out there for the first time. Not only that, Gabriella also invited Elia to come into her house and repeated making out several times. The next morning Nico, who had just come home, was surprised to see Elia in his house. This made Nico angry and asked what relationship Gabriella had with Elia. Gabriella then met Elia and asked her to stay away from him. But Elia said she really loves Gabriella and wants to marry her. Because of that statement, Gabriella melted and continued their relationship. In the end, they got closer and kept on making out at Gabriella's house when Nico wasn't around. Even Gabriella had started to dare to invite Elia to eat with her extended family. Suddenly Elia's arrival made all the family dislike it, especially Stefano, who didn't like Elia from the start. Stefano met Gabriella and said that Elia might just be using her mother for money. But again Elia convinced Gabriella that she really loved Gabriella. On the other hand, Stefano was still suspicious of Elia. He even asked for help from his friend, who was a policeman, to find out who Elia really was. But the policeman asked for something that shocked Stefano. Stefano followed whatever the police wanted. So what's the next story? Will Stefano succeed in stopping his mother's relationship with Elia? You can watch the next episode directly on the internet. See you again in our next film.